Hello again, young Star Trek fans. Today we got another build for you. We're going to be doing the Class 1 destroyer. Looks quite a bit different from the Enterprise, doesn't it? Yeah, this one only has one warp engine. And it's going to have some pieces that we're going to have to find some special greeblies to make them work. But with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so the first step, we want to build the top of the saucer. We're going to use this big paper plate, and then we're going to use a smaller plate on top of that, and that'll kind of give it the saucer shape we want. That's the top of it. I'm going to have to make this, well, we're going to do this. We're going to cut a slot in there. I'm going to make it so that an action figure can sit inside. And yeah, then we're going to attach the bottom half. And then we're going to attach it to the warp engine. So first thing we're going to do is work on the top. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so the first thing I've done is just cut a slot as usual, and that's where the action figure will go in. And I'm actually going to cut this tab completely off. All right, so there's the slot in the bigger plate, and that's how it'll work, just like that. And the figure will be able to sit in there. And I'm going to put a piece of cardboard between the upper plates and then the bottom plates. So I'll show you what I'm doing there. Okay, so there's the round piece of cardboard that I cut out that fits right underneath here. And like I said, it's going to be a nice divider between the upper saucer and what I'm going to build into the lower saucer in a little while. So what we have to do next for this is glue the plate onto there, and then the little plate on top of the big plate. Okay, there I have it. The upper plate glued to the cardboard, and now we're going to do the little plate. We're going to glue that on top of this one. Okay, so I've glued the littler plate to the top, and I cut a little area in there for the figure to fit. And so I guess the next thing we got to do is work on the bottom. So I'll show you what we've done. Okay, so I've done the same thing to the bottom as far as putting the smaller plate on the bigger plate. And then I cut this slot here, and that slot is going to be for what's called the dorsal, which connects the saucer section to the warp engine. I've also put a little hole right in the center because, as you'll see later, that's where the primary deflector dish goes. And I'll be showing you that later. So what we want to do right now is connect the upper saucer with the lower saucer. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, look at that. See the profile? Real nice. Really nice. Okay, I think before we do anything more on the saucer, we're going to attach it with the dorsal to the warp engine. And I think actually we're going to pop it into the warp engine first. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so here's the dorsal, what connects the saucer section to the warp engine. And basically what it is, I just cut out this rhombus, and I did 2 of them, and to give them thickness. And so now I also cut a slot in the warp engine for the dorsal to go. So I'm going to put some glue on this and pop the dorsal into the warp engine, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now I've got the dorsal attached to the saucer section. Now, this is wobbly, okay? So the best way to hold it is not the way I'm holding it right now from the warp engine. Probably the best way to hold it, my guess. Well, probably the best way to hold it is from the dorsal. That's what I'm finding. I think that's the ergonomics of this model, or, you know, toy rather, because that's really what these are. I mean, yeah, you know, if you painted them up and stuff, they could look kind of cool. But I mean, in the end, you know, these are cool enough to be played with hard. And if you break one of these, well, big deal. You know, it's just made of recyclables and unrecyclable junk that gets thrown away. So, you know, you're not doing a bad thing by making it. It's not wasting anything, you know. So anyway, my point is, yeah, these are just meant to be toys. Okay, well, but we're not done. We still have some stuff to do on this, so let's get to the greeblies. Oh, what I wanted to say first, I never mentioned this, is that these two chiller fins back here, the orange ones, those are actually covers to disposable razors. That's all those are. But they're the perfect shape for the chiller vents or chiller fins or whatever they're called. I don't even know if they have a real name. Anyway, okay, okay, we're gonna work on the saucer now. We're gonna finish the saucer section. Okay, so I had this little dome. I can't remember what it came with. I think a little toy came in it or something. But it just looks good with a dome on top. Now, the thing about a destroyer class is that it does not have a dome on the bottom. What it has on the bottom is the deflector dish. See? So we got to make a deflector dish. And I have two model pieces ready to go. I got the hole punched in the middle. So let's get to it. Okay, so here's the primary deflector dish that I had an actual deflector dish from an old model, and this is just another piece that was in the correct orientation, because as you can see here in the picture, it goes down and then it comes out. So see? Yeah. All right, so now we're going to put it on the bottom. All right, there's the sensor dish here. There's the sensor dish underneath. You know, it's not as large as it should be, but this thing isn't to scale with itself, and we're not trying to make it perfectly to scale. We're just trying to get a rough estimate that makes a good toy. We still have one more thing to do with the saucer section, and that's the impulse deck. So I'm going to get right to that. All right, so I have these blue translucent pieces that came from dental floss boxes. And I used one of these as the impulse deck on the, what was that one called? The Rainforest Starship, the Angelou class. And these work pretty well, and they really work good in pairs, and that's what the impulse engines are. They have two ports. So that's what these are going to be. So I'm going to attach these onto the saucer section now. So not bad. I still stick up for those. They make pretty good impulse engines in a pinch. They really do. So the ship itself is done. There's just one last thing to do. Attention, Captain on the bridge. So there we go. There is our Starfleet United Federation of Planets destroyer class with all its little greeblies and details. As I said before, oh dear, As I said before, best way to hold it is from the neck. That's just the best ergonomically way to play with it, frankly. Look. Yeah, that's fun. All right, well, what a build. We're going to be reusing a lot of these parts, recycling a lot of these parts for the other ships. And let me introduce you to those other ships right now so you know what's coming down the pike. Okay, well, as you can see, now remember, we already made the Enterprise, which is a Constitution class. We just made the Destroyer, the Tug. That is definitely going to be a project. There's no doubt about it. We're going to do the Tug at some point. Let me just show you some pictures. We're also going to do the Dreadnought, which for some weird reason they dotted in this thing. I don't know why. So there's that's the Enterprise, the Class 1 Heavy Cruiser Constitution class, which we've already done. The Destroyer, which we just did today. There's a Scout class too, but it's basically just the same. It just doesn't have photon torpedoes. Yeah, the Class 1 Tug. This would be a really fun one to do. I have a feeling it'd be kind of crazy too. But the cool thing about the Tug is that it has this pad. You can see up here, this pad. And on the underside of it, it's shaped so that it can carry these cargo pods. And we could easily make those cargo pods out of toilet paper rolls, or better yet would be, once again, paper towel rolls. This just shows what some of those containers look like. Some of them are even starliners, which is kind of cool. And now this one is going to be the last one we do. This is the Dreadnought. It's got 3 warp engines, 2 on the secondary hull, as you can see here, and then 1 coming out of the primary hull. It's loaded with photon torpedoes. It's just it's a killer ship, and we're going to leave this one for last. So the next one we're going to do, I guess, makes sense. The next one we'll do will be the Tug, I guess. And that should be a lot of fun. But anyway, one more beauty pass. One more beauty pass of our ship. Yeah, check out those impulse engines. Looking pretty good to me. Joni, don't eat plastic, honey. How many times do I have to tell you? You don't want to eat plastic. Okay, I'm going to stop her right now. This is Daddy Star Trek signing off. What a bad kitty.